Tommy, what are you doing at my computer?
Marcus, you're late.
It's 5 into 8. What are you doing?
I'm color grading. Can't you see?
With sunglasses on?
Yeah, it's perfect. The white balance was off, but I solved it with my sunglasses.
Hi and welcome to Soul Media. I hope you enjoyed that little sequence, and today we're checking out my 10 top tips in DaVinci Resolve. Let's go. Let's start up with Fusion. I have been struggling with the graphic design and with 3D programs previously, but since I started up with the grading and had an experience with the note-based editing, I found it really fun and intuitive to go forward with Fusion as well. And it's become a really fun thing to render out the 3D text and everything you can do in Fusion. So remote grading is a fantastic feature of DaVinci Resolve. Previously, I have always started off with the cut page before the edit page to do all the grading and the color and the look I wanted before I started editing. But since I've discovered this feature, it's become a godsend, really, since you can cut everything when the media isn't as hard for the computer to run. And then when you finish editing, it's just to tweak one of the clips. Number 3, power bins and adjustment layers. So, when I started up in DaVinci Resolve about a year ago, I found it really frustrating to not be able to save any presets. But you can store presets via the adjustment layer. Just make an adjustment that you usually use or want to save it. And if you save it in the power bin, you can easily access it in the power bin. And if you don't see power bin, you go to view and then activate power bin. Cut page, oh cut page, you might say, but actually the cut page is very useful, and I will show you why right now. So you're coming back from your shoot and you know there is one of your shots that is featuring this epic bird that you really want to see again, and you don't know which clip there was in. Then you just go over to the source tape, and in the preview window it creates a timeline with all the clips that you have imported to Resolve. So in the cut page, you can't zoom in or zoom out, but you do have two timelines representing the same thing. One is where it's zoomed in and one is zoomed out. And you can put your desired clip in either of those timelines. It will become the same timeline. And everything you do inside of the cut page is represented in the edit page as well. But the big benefit of doing the basic cut in the cut page is the speed of the workflow, since you can easily trim clips very fast. If you have done this trim inside of the edit page instead, you will end up with a gap between the previous clip and that clip you were trimming. But it's quite easy to get rid of, but it's one more click. So you might think that DaVinci Resolve doesn't have a rendering queue, but actually it does. Inside the delivery page, next to the render queue, click the 3 dots and go to show all projects. Now you can select the ones that you want to render. And if you have different timelines in the project that you are at, then you just can select the timeline in the top of the viewer. DaVinci Resolve is the industry standard in color grading, and it do so with justice. The color management is exceptional, since you can choose between having DaVinci Resolve solve things for you by itself. If you have, for instance, an analog image on raw image, it will convert those automatically to Rec 709, so you don't have to do it inside of a color space transform node. But there are times when I switch it off and use the color space transform instead, if I want a specific look or something specific for every shot inside of that timeline. So DaVinci Resolve might be a bit taxing on your computer CPU and GPU. There is ways to make it run much smoother. There is the timeline proxy mode, where you can reduce the quality of your preview window by half and third. But you can also take control of the cache size and the proxy size by going to project settings and then master settings. And if you scroll down, you see the optimized media and render cache. If you are on a Mac, you can choose Apple ProRes 422 LT to make cache and proxies smaller. And if you go to playback and render cache, you have 3 different options. One is none, one is smart, and one is user. If you set into smart, it will come a red line above all clips, and we try to render it. When I'm working on something, I usually have it on none, and then switch to smart and wait for the blue line to be complete before I go to the delivery page. And if your project is really heavy and taxing on your computer still, and you have failure when you export, to never get an error when you're exporting, just click the Use Render Cache image, and inside the delivery page, play the whole timeline from beginning to end, and then hit render. So another analysis, there is a risk of the software actually crashing, and your perfect edits will be gone forever, but not in DaVinci Resolve, because there is a thing called live save that actually save your life live. So in an event of DaVinci actually crashing, DaVinci crashing. Anyway, if it would crash, everything will be saved, so don't worry. So having everything in one is very convenient, I think, and I don't see the reason for having different programs for different things. Cutting, editing, VFX, audio, color grading, rendering, they're all in one place. Isn't it just convenient? And I love it for that. Everything you do just moves with you, the next page, the next page. Don't forget to empty your cache folder once in a while. You can choose between empty all or empty not used cache. But when I am done with a project, I usually go inside of Finder and then go to the cache folder and delete everything inside of it manually, so that I know that everything gets deleted and nothing gets left behind, so I have the full disk space that I wanted back. I hope you liked today's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!